Hello, my name is Leah Costa. And no, I'm not related to our professor. It seems to be a very common last name here in Massachusetts. I live in East Taunton with my boyfriend and our 3 daughters. I am going to school to get my degree in nursing, and it is a lot harder than I expected. In order to get into the nursing program, you need to maintain a 4.0. I believe the lowest GPA to get into the nursing program last was a 3.9. Um, it can be a little scary because obviously that doesn't leave much room for error in our life. So I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I stay very busy homeschooling 2 of our daughters and completing a 2-year home improvement project, and I'm in the process of moving in while completing that. I am an avid outdoors girl, big on conservation and maintaining our wildlife sanctuaries and animal habitats, and I despise littering and the negative effects that it has on our earth. With that being said, I still am not a fan of paper straws. I think they suck. I am also an avid bow hunter. I shoot and I process my own meat. Some people would think that that does not go hand in hand with being a conservationist. If you do some research, you will find otherwise. I mostly hunt deer and turkey. I do not buy much beef from the store at all, maybe once a year. So my idea of grocery shopping is a little different than most. I cook all the normal meals people cook with their beef: fajitas, tacos, stuffed peppers, spaghetti, shepherd's pie, just to name a few. They're all made with venison, or chicken pot pie would be made with the wild turkey, turkey and dumplings instead of chicken and dumplings. My children are also involved in the entire woods to table process. I'm a firm believer in being as self-sufficient as you possibly can be. So my goal this year is to develop and maintain a homestead with my children. In regards to how I feel about public speaking, the word that comes to mind for me would be anxiety, sweating, hives, and eventually like a total loss of train of thought. To sum it up, I am not a fan of public speaking, but I am a philomath. I do enjoy to learn, and I have every confidence that our professor is going to give us the best informational teaching necessary to help with my public speaking skills, or lack thereof. So to answer the premise that was set on systemic racism, I will start by saying that I was born and raised in South Florida in a city called Miramar. For those of you who are not familiar with where that is, if I stood in my yard and I chucked a rock across the street, it would land in Miami. I was surrounded with many different cultures and ethnicities. I grew up where the majority was the minority. Non-Hispanic white people, I believe, only made up about 12% of the population. So most of my neighborhood was Jamaican, Haitian, Peruvian. We had some Cubans, my favorite food, by the way, and Filipinos. The neighborhood is where I acquired lifelong friends who I'm still friends with today. With that being said, I have to also say that I am so very proud of our country and what it has overcome in regards to racism. From the time we abolished slavery and then outlawed it in the 1700s on through the 1900s with President Lincoln passing the Emancipation Proclamation, to the 15th Amendment granting African American men the right to vote, excuse me, to the enforcement acts that prosecute people who violate the rights of African Americans, to the Civil Rights Act, which guarantees African Americans equal treatment in all aspects. I especially notice affirmative action, which gives legal preferences in hiring, promoting, contracting, and university admissions to minorities. So ever since then, we have legally given preference to non-whites. So when I look at it all as a whole, I do not see a system that is racist against minorities, towards minorities. I've never seen large-scale racism or systemic racism. So when I was asked how I felt about it, it seemed like an odd question, because how can you feel about something that you don't believe is prevalent or see as prevalent? Being the history buff that I am, I don't see systemic racism as even being possible now here in the US because of all the laws that we've put forth to prevent it. Unlike other countries where there are still people being sold today, children, women, even men. So I'm not saying that there is not racist people, that I don't believe it exists, because I believe there is always going to be good and evil in this world. There's always going to be people who know better, and there's always going to be the ignorant who don't, or who choose not to. But what laws or practices are currently active here within the US that force minorities out of equal opportunity? I don't know of any. So with that being said, videos and articles like the ones we watched and read, and ours too, that we're posting, can really broaden someone's political view. So I'll just end with this question. Do the same rules apply here in the US to all races? Thank you.